Okay, it's a good question. I think it's been there for a long time. Just kind of like I had a fairly religious upbringing, so the idea of hell was always kind of a scary one. And for me, the kind of what if we knew 100% that it was real and we had a map of it, how would that change everybody, believers, non-believers, and what would the devil think of that? So it kind of just like it grew over time to the point where I had all these crazy ideas about it in my head, and I thought sci-fi, anything goes. You can just make it happen, and so I did. Yeah, I think I actually met one of my hero authors called Ian Banks. He wrote a lot of dark fiction and some great sci-fi. So I got to meet him at a signing, and I said to him, "Hey, so how do you?" Asked him the same question, really. How do you get creative and make sure it works when you don't feel creative? He said, "Don't worry about it. Just have a pad with you all the time, and when you're not feeling creative, go back through your pad and look at your ideas and just expand them because you'll rekindle that creativity." And it really works. The only downside for it is that you end up with more ideas per page than you can actually action. So a lot of people have said about Complete Darkness, it's very dense in its ideas per page, even though it's not a long book. Oh, I did a lot. I mean, and that's part of the fun, I think. And I'm running for my next one. I'm in the research stage. So I talked to theologians, I talked to Satanists, I talked to different people from different perspectives on hell. I watched a lot of films, and that's where the superhero influence comes in, because in order to fight the devil, you need someone above average to take a fight to him. So that I was influenced by, Spider-Man and kind of those superheroes that get their powers without really knowing why they've got it. They're not born with them. So my hero, he's just a regular guy. He's a bit of a loser, actually. He's not a very nice guy, but he inadvertently becomes superpowered and decides to fight from humanity rather than join the paths of darkness. So
This is the town that Mr. Adcock lives in, Hitchkin, United Kingdom. The town is well known for St. Mary's Church. Its tower dates back to 1190. Anyone can climb the towers and get a good view of the town. The road between London and Hitchkin is 31 miles.
no, I knew a vague idea that I would like to have the devil have to fight someone, but I didn't know how to do it. So my first manuscript, the one I gave that got me the deal to get published, didn't have the ending fight in it. It stopped in the build up to it. So it was like a cliffhanger, and you never get to see the hero use his powers. And then my publisher said, "Look, this is not satisfying. I love it. The build up's great, but you can't leave it for another book. You got to give the people a climactic fight." So that's the last bit I wrote, and it actually, when I read it back, it's now my favorite bit. Sure. I mean, I approached a lot of people, and I had a reading panel of friends who I trusted. So I got it like printed out and gave each one of them a copy to feed back to me, and that was a learning process. But I didn't have a professional editor or publisher at that time, so I kind of wrote a lot of letters, and then got a lot of letters saying no. Mm-hmm. Then eventually I met this guy called Rich, who has the publishing company that I got published with, and we got on really well. I mean, we started a film club together, so we were watching films, and he said to me one day, he found a copy of my manuscript on the shelf. He said, "Look, do you write this?" I was like, yeah. He's like, "I could publish this." I was like, "Well, only if you think it's any good." So he went away and read it, and he liked it. And that's the thing. So now published is great. He's published some kids stuff. Like there's this Spike's book about hedgehogs, which is kind of like a bit like Sonic the Hedgehog. Also a vampire book, so called the London Vampire Diary. And so because he has both the kids and the adult books out there, mine very much fits in the adult side of things as opposed to the kids stuff. He has started to offer that to help people get self-published, but he offers two streams. Those who want to self-publish, he can advise them for a fee and get them like an ISBN or whatever. But those who he thinks are good enough, he wants to publish himself and have he takes a cut of all their sales. And the joy for me was like, if you go that route, you don't have to pay anything to get published, which is great. So, it's zero cost for me. I just get money back, but he takes a little bit of that. Oh gosh, I mean, the thing is, I've worked in comms all my life, so I feel like I've been training for it. So I did a whole sort of things, and I set up the launch where it was my chance to go to an event that I would like to go to myself. So because it's about hell, I got a vicar from a church and a Satanist from whatever they go to, and they both gave me their version of hell. So they talked to the crowd who came. We had about 35 people or so. Put on some wine and some chips. My publisher helped a little bit, but not a lot of money. So basically calling in favors, finding out a venue that wouldn't be too expensive, selling tickets. So people paid to come, which was great. So they paid £10 a head. That helped. They give you some budget to buy the wine and stuff, I mean, it was one of the best nights of my life because the sheer joy when you hold a book that you've written in your hand, see people reading it and enjoying it or whatever. I mean, I dreamed of that moment. And so when it actually happened, it was kind of amazing. Keep going, because it's easy to get disheartened, I mean, when I was getting all the letters back saying, no, it's not for us, I kind of, I almost gave up. I'm so glad I didn't in the end. But you have to believe in yourself. You have to have good friends who will read it and give you honest feedback, not just like, oh yeah, it's great, and then they walk away going, no, it's not. But you need people who are going to tell you where it's weak, how you can do things better, and just keep on crafting it.